A legend's shadow is a double-edged sword. If your dad is Marcelo Vieira, football's all-time great left back, pressure is astronomically high. But imagine that a son has the potential to be greater than his legendary father. ENZO ALVES Vieira, born in 2009, is forging his own path at Real Madrid. While his father was the left-back maestro, Enzo is staking his claim as a ruthless striker. Today, we compare their careers, contrast their abilities, and pose the burning question: will Enzo outdo his father's legendary status? Marcelo Vieira de Silva Jr. stands today as one of football's most decorated defenders in history. His trophy cabinet is simply staggering. 5 Champions League titles, 6 La Liga championships, 4 FIFA Club World Cups, 3 UEFA Super Cups, 2 Copa del Rey victories, and 5 Spanish Super Cups. With an incredible 25 trophies, he became the most decorated player in Real Madrid's illustrious 120-year history. Beyond the silverware, Marcelo's statistics speak volumes. 546 appearances for Real Madrid, 38 goals, and 103 assists. Extraordinary numbers for a defender. He redefines the left-back position with his offensive capabilities, becoming as much a playmaker as a defender. For Brazil's national team, he earned 58 caps, participated in 2 World Cups, and won the 2013 Confederations Cup. But how did this legendary figure rise to such heights? The journey to becoming a football icon began in the most humble of circumstances. Born in Rio de Janeiro in 1988, Marcelo's childhood was far from privileged. Raised in Catete, a working-class neighborhood, his family struggled financially. His grandfather, Pedro, worked multiple jobs to afford Marcelo's football training equipment and fees. At just 9 years old, Marcelo joined Fluminense's youth academy. Despite showing incredible technical ability, he faced constant doubts about his physical attributes. Several coaches believed he was too small and skinny to succeed professionally, a criticism that would follow him into his early professional years. Despite these challenges, Marcelo's determination never wavered. He would practice relentlessly, perfecting his technique and developing the attacking prowess that would later define his career. In 2005, at just 17, Marcelo made his professional debut for Fluminense. His impact was immediate, showcasing exceptional dribbling ability, crossing precision, and attacking flair rarely seen in defenders. Then, Real Madrid came calling in January of 2007. The Spanish Giants paid €6.5 million for the teenager, a substantial fee for a relatively unproven talent. The pressure was immense, but Marcelo was ready to begin what would become one of football's most successful individual careers. Smash that like button if you're already impressed by the Vieira football dynasty. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated with more content about football's legendary families and rising stars. Your support helps us create more in-depth documentaries like this one. While Marcelo fought against poverty in Brazil, Enzo's youth could not have been more contrasting. Born of football royalty, Enzo grew up in Madrid and saw his father pick up trophy after trophy at the Santiago Bernabeu. Unlike his father, who started at Fluminense, Enzo started at Real Madrid's La Fábrica Academy in 2017 when he was just 8 years old. There was pressure to live up to the Vieira standard immediately, but Enzo showed incredible mental strength for a kid so young. The most interesting thing is that although he's the son of one of the greatest left-backs in the history of the game, Enzo chose a completely different position. Marcelo scared defenders playing on the left wing, but Enzo turned out to be a lethal center forward. Since his very early childhood football, Enzo possessed natural goal-scoring ability. His box positioning, finishing, and movement away from the ball were 3 or 4 years above his age. In the 2021-2022 season, playing for Real Madrid's U13 side, Enzo scored a staggering 60 goals in 30 matches. The most fascinating thing about Enzo is his two-way heritage. Although Brazilian from his father's side, Enzo has played for Spain youth. This has left the public concerned, and many have wondered if he'll end up playing for Brazil like his dad or keep on playing for Spain. Enzo was already making waves at Real Madrid's youth ranks by the time he was 15 and was justifiably presented with a new contract for the club in 2024. His technical skill set, physical strength, and goal-scoring ability have drawn comparisons to all-time great goal-getters rather than his father's playing tactics. Marcelo revolutionized the left-back position. An attacking player, he introduced Brazilian flair with a tactical mind. His runs in advance of his position, precise crosses, and opportunistic goals were the hallmark of his game. Marcelo differed from other players in the sense that he could play as an extra attacker without too often neglecting his defensive duties. Enzo is a very different sort of player, however. Center forward, he's all about creating chances rather than seeing them fall through. His in-box movement is superb, finding room where one wouldn't expect it to be. He plays in quite the opposite fashion to his dad, who is renowned for unadulterated acceleration. Enzo is all about the use of power, positioning, and clinical finishing. What's surprising is that despite playing in different positions, both have an incredible technical ability. Marcelo's close control allowed him to outmaneuver opponents with the ball on the wing, while Enzo's control permits him to maintain possession when under attack from defenders. Where they are most dissimilar is in their functions. Marcelo was a builder, a player who was involved in creating build-up play and constructing assists. Enzo is a finisher, the culmination of attacking movement, whose function is to turn chances into goals. If you're enjoying this deep dive into how Enzo is following his father's legendary footsteps, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more analysis of football's most exciting talents. Your support means everything to us and allows us to keep bringing you these football stories. Marcelo's psychological resilience was attested throughout his football career. Coming to Spain from Brazil as an 18-year-old to adjust to a new culture and a new language, and the humongous pressure of playing for Real Madrid took colossal psychological strength. When he also failed initially, people wrote him off as a failure. Yet Marcelo didn't give up, eventually growing into a club legend. Enzo, however, also had his block. Despite never having known poverty, he's crushed by his father's shadow. Every touch, every goal, every mistake is measured against his father. Is he as good as his dad? Will he ever do half as much? These doubts have followed Enzo since the very first kick of a ball. What's impressive is how Enzo has risen to this challenge rather than avoided it. He stayed at Real Madrid, the team that his father played for, and gained his mythical status rather than seeking an easier option elsewhere. It's a tremendous demonstration of mental toughness in a young player. Achievement-wise, the competition is presently one-sided. Marcelo possesses over 15 years of superior football, not to mention 25 titles alone at Real Madrid. His 5 Champions League titles and standing as the best decorated player in the history of Real Madrid set the bar so incredibly high that even the great are left trying their best. Enzo, who started his professional career, has yet to debut professionally. His professional career trajectory is merely phenomenal, however. His record of goals at such a tender age surpasses that of most veteran forwards of the same vintage. Scouts already refer to him as one of the greatest forwards of his generation. The most persuasive thing is that Enzo's ceiling might be greater than his dad's. Where Marcelo was as good as a left back can get, Enzo plays a position where genius of the individual can affect games more directly. A lethal finisher who scored 25-plus goals a season is maybe more valuable than even the greatest fullback. If Enzo continues to develop, maintains his rate of goal scoring, and makes a successful transition to senior football, he may be capable of surpassing his father's legacy. Although it will be difficult to match Marcelo's medal haul, Enzo is a child and plays for the opposition as a striker, where individual honors, the Golden Boot and Ballon d'Or, may be more attainable. Enzo's future is difficult, but promising. Over the next few years, he'll have to endure the harsh transition from junior football to the professional game. He's one of the dozens of promising young players who are unable to break this barrier, but Enzo has a head start in that he's grown up surrounded by football. What is true, however, is that Real Madrid believes in him. That the club offered him such an extended contract is clear evidence of their faith in him. They don't view him merely as Marcelo's son, but as a future star player prospect. A question mark rests over his international future. Even though he's now in the Spanish fold at youth international level, the attraction of Brazil, his father's homeland, continues to allure. This will have a gargantuan bearing on his playing career and reputation. So, is Enzo Alves bound for legend like his dad? The short answer is, he could be. While Marcelo's success set an unrealistic standard, Enzo's God-given talent, privileged status, and advanced maturity suggest that he could too. Most amazing about this father-son story is how different their careers and styles of play are. Marcelo emerged from the Brazilian streets to conquer Europe as an inspirational left-back. Enzo, son of the football dynasty, is forging his own path as a clinical finisher. Whether Enzo will ever overtake his father is in so many ways immaterial. The Vieira family have already accomplished something that's special for football. To have a father and a son playing for Real Madrid is something that few families might be able to boast. One thing is certain, football's world will be watching Enzo mature with immense interest. A legend's son is writing his own story, and it's going to be as thrilling as his dad's. If you've made it this far, you're clearly as fascinated by the Marcelo-Enzo story as we are. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about football's brightest talents and legendary families. Drop a comment below with which player or football family you want to see analyzed next.